My sister is demanding that I hand over my inheritance to fund her wedding. My dad passed away last year after a long illness. It was devastating, but honestly, the last few years of his life were harder than the funeral itself. I was the one who moved back home to take care of him. I handled doctor's appointments, late-night emergencies, bills, and basically ran the house when he couldn't anymore. It was exhausting, but I don't regret it. He and I got very close during that time. My sister, on the other hand, lives out of state. She came back twice in the last year of his life, once for Christmas and once for his birthday. I don't think she's a bad person, but she definitely distanced herself from the responsibility. Her excuse was that she had her own life and couldn't just drop everything. I understood at the time, but it still hurt. When Dad passed, his will specifically left me a decent chunk of money, not millions, but enough that I could pay off my student loans and actually start saving for a house. It was clear in the will that this money was for me because of the sacrifices I made while caring for him. My sister received other things. He left her some jewelry and a classic car he had restored that she always loved, but the majority of liquid assets went to me. Fast forward to now. My sister got engaged in May. Her fiancé is nice enough, but they both have champagne tastes on a beer budget. The wedding they're planning is way out of their price range. Destination resort, designer dress, open bar, huge guest list. I assumed they were going into debt for it, which I thought was their choice. But then, about a month ago, my sister sat me down and said, "I need your help. Dad would have wanted you to use some of that inheritance to make my wedding special." She wasn't asking for a small loan. She wanted me to hand over $30,000 to cover the venue and catering. I told her no. I said that Dad left me that money for a reason, and I'm using it to build stability in my life, not blow it on a party. She immediately got defensive and accused me of being selfish and choosing money over family. Now my mom has gotten involved. She says Dad would have wanted me to share, and that family comes first. I told her Dad literally wrote a will that reflected his wishes, and if he wanted to fund my sister's wedding, he would have set aside money for that. Mom keeps saying I'm tearing the family apart. Now my sister says she won't invite me to the wedding at all unless I do the right thing. My mom is begging me to reconsider for the sake of peace, but honestly, I can't see myself handing over $30,000 just so my sister can have a fancy Instagram wedding while I put my future on hold. Final update. After my first post, things with my sister kept escalating. She kept sending me guilt-trippy texts, saying things like, "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me," and "You're choosing money over your only sister." I was holding strong, but it still hurt. Then, something came out that I wasn't prepared for. One of my cousins, who's been quietly on my side, told me my sister hasn't exactly been faithful to her fiancé. At first, I didn't believe it. It sounded too wild, too cruel. But then they showed me messages. My sister has been seeing a man from her job for months, married man. She apparently told my cousin she's not even sure she wants to marry her fiancé, but she's going through with the wedding anyway because everything's already in motion, and she deserves the spotlight after a hard year. I felt like I'd been punched, not because I care about her fiancé that much, we've never been close, but because it shattered the last bit of moral ground she had to stand on. She's been calling me selfish, manipulative, greedy, all while living a double life. Here's the part that broke me. My mom knows. I don't even know who my mother is anymore. The woman who raised me to believe in honesty and integrity is now telling me to keep quiet while my sister destroys her relationship and another family's marriage. Also, we can have a happy event to cover the grief of losing Dad. And here's the kicker. My sister is still hammering me for the money, still saying Dad would want me to share, still threatening to cut me out of her life completely. She has no idea I know what she's doing. Part of me wants to out her, tell her fiancé, tell the whole damn family, throw the truth like a grenade and walk away. Another part of me is exhausted. I already spent years holding my dad's hand in hospitals while everyone else lived their lives. Do I really want to take on this burden too? For now, I've decided to step back. I'm not going to her wedding. Invite or no invite, I won't be there. I took more of the inheritance and paid down my student loans today, and I cried when I saw my balance shrink. Not out of guilt this time, but relief.